Hello, my name is Oscar. I study at the Pan American University of Puerto in the Faculty of Education and Humanities School of Modern Languages. In today's video, I'm going to do a short third court review so we can do a recap of everything that we have studied during the third court, from vocalic sounds to interdental consonants, and finally the silent E rule. So let's quickly begin with the vocalic sounds that we have studied. Let's begin by explaining the correct pronunciation of the long vowel sound. This is a long posterior vocalic sound where the mouth remains open and the lips rounded. So we can look at this in practice. I have brought up some examples to practice. First, we have the word law. But let's just emphasize on that long vowel sound and the positioning of the mouth so we can understand the few pronunciation keys that we must follow to obtain the correct sound. And we have them right here in this short summary. Mouth remains open and the lips rounded. So, for example, law, law. As you can see, my mouth remains both open, and the lips rounded in an O shape. Sorry about that. There we go. Law. Second example, talk. And third example, caught. Caught. Once again from the top, law, talk, caught. In a day-to-day speech situation, the pronunciation would be something less exaggerated, such as law, talk, and caught. But for the sake of studying the correct disposition of the mouth and the proper identification of the sound, therefore the exaggeration with law, talk, and caught. Okay? So next up, we have the O sound, which is a diphthong. Why is that? That is because the tongue glides from one position to another, resulting in the following. The sound itself goes from an O sound to an U sound. So the rule that we're going to start off is the same that we just used for the long vowel sound because of the O sound. But then we transition to the U sound. So we're going to have an open mouth, rounded lips, but then we're going to transition to form a smaller O shape for the U sound, and the lips are going to extend outwards. So how is that applied to these example words? We have go, go, home, home, and boat, boat. That is the most exaggerated way, so we can properly see the pronunciation and the movement of the mouth while pronouncing those words and making that specific sound. In a day-to-day conversation, these words will sound something more like go, home, boat. It's the same thing, but more natural and more blended, probably, with other words in the sentence. Now, that is all for vocalic sounds. Let's move on to the second topic at hand, which is interdental consonants. And here we studied a concept known as voiceless and voiced consonant sounds. So what this means is whether if the vocal cords produce vibration while pronouncing a certain consonant sound. In this specific instance, we are studying interdental consonants, which are named as such because in order to produce such sound, we must put or place the tip of the tongue between the teeth. That is why they are called interdental consonants or consonant sounds. And we're going to distinguish two categories, as we just explained, voiceless and voice. And the difference between the two of them is the vibration of the vocal cords. So this is a more discrete difference. So let's look at it with these examples. First, we have the voiceless sound, which means we must place the tip of the tongue between the teeth, and the air is going to produce a sound such as this. All right? And the vocal cords are not vibrating. We simply do that shape, that positioning of the mouth, the tongue, and we sort of expel the air through that gap. And with that position, we say the words. First, we have think, think. We also have three, three, and ba, ba. So let's go over all of them once again. Sorry about my camera here. Think, three, and ba. Okay, so having established the voiceless consonant sounds, let's study the voiced consonant sounds. I'm experiencing a little bit of delay in my video footage, but I hope you are able to follow the video anyways. So moving on to voiced interdependent consonant or a voiced sound. Again, we're going to place the tip of the tongue between the teeth, but now we must produce the vibration of our vocal cords in order to properly pronounce this sound. So we have the words this, that, that, and mother, mother. As you see, the positioning of the mouth and the face and the tongue is exactly the same. The difference lies in the vibration of the vocal cords, which may not be all that apparent, but I am doing it. This, that, mother. Okay, now in a more casual way, this, that, mother, mother. And there it is. Even if it's discrete, there is the vibration, and that is the difference. And finally, let's look at the final topic for today's video, which is the silent E rule. And what is that? The silent E rule is basically a phenomena where when a word finishes with the letter E, that E sound is usually silent. But at the same time, it is going to produce a change from a vowel sound that is present in the word, and it's going to transform that vowel sound from short to long, as we studied the long vowel sound a few minutes ago. So, in order to understand this a bit better, we have some pairings here. And my camera, my video, again, is giving me some trouble. Apologies. But in this case, the positioning of the mouth, it isn't that crucial to the explanation. So let's move forward and explain here the difference and the phenomena of the silent E rule. First, with the first pairing, we have the word cap. Cap. But if you were to complete that word with a letter E at the end, the vowel sound is going to be transformed from an A sound to an A sound, right? So we're going to have from cap to cape, cape. Okay? From cap to cape. Second example is with the word kit. We have an E sound, short, kit. And we're going to transition, if we add the letter E, from kit to kite, kite. All right? Same thing with the next word. We have not, not. Short O sound, not. If we add the E, that A sound is going to change to O, note, note, from not to note. And finally, the final pairing is the word cap. That A sound is going to change into a Q sound with a cube, from cap to cube. So that is the final topic that we studied during the third course. And I hope the explanation for all of them, the long vowel sound, the silent E rule, and of course the interdental, vocalic, both voiced and voiceless sounds were satisfactory and understandable. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.